Look, it's a flood.
The flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
This week on our trip around the world, we've got Ironheart Backlash already. We've got the Liver King arrested, Sabrina Carpenter, and a whole lot of censorship. Pete Hegseth chews the face off of one of his own. Vampires versus aliens. Norwegian tourists are being denied entry into the country. Fear the Zohran. Drake versus T-Pain. Nas opens a casino, and a whole lot more on everybody's favorite weekly pop culture digest that takes the news happening around you and discussing how it shapes the culture that defines you. That's right, it's The Flood with Doc and Ziggy! Your favorite
weekly pop culture digest taking the news happening around you and talking about how it shapes the culture that defines you
with
our pop perspective
to put that culture in context
and make the mainstream make sense, because if we do not make sense, we don't make
dollars. Holla at the patrons.
Enraged Peacock,
a cool cat name. See you Slater.
While you were doing that, you were just doing the Charles Barkley churro motion.
Is that it was
so,
like a cock to the side
Austin
fist
2,
pump?
Austin 2, I think Doc might be having dreams about you.
Oh,
Bars?
buddy. Oh, buddy.
Fuck it. Drop
that was
the
a
Jalen.
reach.
Bars!
That was a reach, but we'll get not a reach
Also,
around.
Thunder Knight.
Ryo!
And Andrew P. Raymer.
Shout out to you guys for keeping the lights on, and welcome back. Welcome back. And Zig, you said you had a cold open?
I do. It's a new segment I'm going to call How Would You? So, Doc, I was thinking about this. What man-made products that require no external energy to function, if they didn't exist, would destroy humanity?
First of all, what a crazy setup. What a crazy setup. Can you run that one by me again one more time, Carl Sagan? What the fuck?
What is some man-made tool or object that functions without an external power source and is not just a part of something? So, like, the gear wouldn't work, the wheel doesn't count, things like that. And I think that there is a way to destroy mankind if they just never came up with some simple things that don't require any external source.
To destroy mankind?
Yeah, we just would not be where we are right now without it.
For the detriment of society, right? Because at this point, I'm really just thinking about the internet.
No. That requires an external power source.
In the field.
I mean, like, this is not an example that would destroy humanity, but, like, the spoon is an example of what I'm talking about. It is a man-made object that requires no external power source for us to use it to function. But if you remove the spoon from existence, humanity would not collapse. I can think of a few things that would cause humanity's collapse.
I'm just currently trying to think of what it is, what you were tripping on in the shower, like, that made you come up with this cold open, right?
An hour and a half of staring at InDesign.
I'm gonna say the wedge.
That's a pretty good one. I am going to say the cup.
Chat, this nigga doesn't know bowls exist.
The cup, the bowl, anything that holds liquid, we're fucked. If we don't have a way to contain liquid, we're fucked.
So you're getting rid of like the canteen, like any
Yeah, all
kind
gone.
of all
None
bladders.
of us have to, nobody in America or wow, talk about Amerocentric. Nobody in history has been. You know what? Maybe we should find a way to hold liquid.
I feel like you inadvertently just like canceled all of modern sports as well, because like if we're not holding liquid in like bladders of any kind, then like
Oh yeah, athlete careers are gonna be like 3 months.
I'm not even just talking about that. Like, do you really think they're gonna make like balls? Like, no diddy. Like, if we're not filling bladders up with water, what makes you think they're gonna fill them up with air? At some point, somebody's gonna be like, oh, you know, we could probably also put liquid in this. This is also a really weird cold open.
Yeah, I think a few other examples would be shoes. If shoes didn't exist, I think we'd be very
Shoes
fucked.
is a good one.
I actually thought about it. Like
Shoes is a good one.
I asked Gemini, and they said that humans have been using some kind of protective footwear for at least 8,000 years.
Yeah, we got like
Like shoes, I feel like the lifespan of a human would be significantly shorter without shoes.
The distance traveled, right? Like, I wonder how our feet would have evolved had we not like developed or like the tool capability of creating protective footwear, right? Like, how tough would niggas' calluses really be? Like, you know, like we really like we joke about like having slave feet and shit like that for people, for the skin folk of us that are more inclined to be barefoot outside, right?
Oh my god, this reminds me of a moment in fucking college where there was a classmate of mine who didn't wear shoes in class, and I was like, that's gross, okay. I'm assuming they're putting them on when they, nope, just walking on the fucking pavement barefoot.
Yeah, walking around in like high traffic places barefoot is okay. Like, I get, and hear me out, black people. I get going to the park and taking your shoes off and like literally touching grass, right? Like, and not even in like the hippie boho third eye like ground yourself sense, but like it does feel good to like going to the beach, especially when like the sand isn't like scorch your skin hot, right? And like digging your toes in this.
And you
that's
know
a
what
great
doesn't
feeling.
feel like that? You know what doesn't feel like that? Carpet with no foam padding underneath in a state university classroom.
I was gonna say, yeah, cold office tile floor. Yeah. Now, if you're somebody who's on their feet a lot, cold office tile floor might initially feel good, right? Like an ice pack.
And then eventually you're gonna feel like you're in a doctor's office.
Yeah, and I'm like, people do weird shit, man. People spit on floors. Have you ever been in a public space and seen somebody just like full on hock a loogie like in a grocery store? I've seen it. It's absolutely disgusting.
Never inside.
Humans in the wild are a sight to behold. I think that's why reality TV took over the world, and it sucks because reality TV is not real, right? But like the spectacle that is candidly observing another human being is so captivating that
No,
we
it's
literally
like my
just
adventure last night where like I was, you know, I love people watching. We all love people watching. But
I
then
mean,
I was
streaming.
like, you know what? What if I become an active player in this situation and start, you know, talking to these people I'm people watching? And turns out, I didn't tell you, but one of the dates that I feel like I accidentally home wrecked. All right, I might have intentionally home wrecked this one, like subconsciously
All right.
intentionally home wrecked it. But I asked the girl, I was like, so
Jesus,
Are you-
Ariana Grande, chill out.
I was like, so are you two on a date? And she says, I think he thinks he is.
Wow. I will go ahead and say that you didn't wreck that. It was never it never was. It never was, and I feel like that gentleman probably got his dream shattered in that moment. He's like, what the fuck do you... I thought we've been having... They had probably been having a great time up to that point.
It was a loud bar, and she was in the middle. He was on the other side, so we were talking, and he couldn't hear us.
Oh, wow. Dirty. Embarrassing.
So then me, being like, all right, I want to get on this game of pool. I put $1 on the table, and they're like, it's free. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm next. So then I was like, all right, you guys want to play for something? They're like, I don't know what we'll play for. So, we ended up playing for 2 DC Metro cards that may or may not be empty.
Real late night degenerate shit. Like, I want to gamble. I want to gamble, but I've already spent my $2 on the beer for so here's this Metro card. I was gonna use it to fake out the fucking MTA card earlier, but if you feeling frisky, I'm willing to walk home tonight. I'm willing to take that bet.
Yeah, a DC Metro card, and I'm out in Fed Hill. If I was walking home from Fed Hill, hoping a DC Metro card was gonna get me there, I'd be walking home from Fed Hill anyway. But I mean, that's not the most dangerous thing I've done in Baltimore. Like I said, like we both know, I have literally had to go find a place to sleep in the city like a homeless person for a few hours once. And I found a good spot.
Jesus, man. Hey,
I woke up, I didn't get stabbed, I didn't smell like urine, that wasn't my own.
It's Baltimore. It's the city of love, Charm City, baby. It's got a place for you. You know what I mean? If you late in the city, if it's late and you out in the city at night and you so hammered you can't remember where you parked your car, don't worry, Baltimore's got you.
Shut up.
All right, and we got you. We always got you here at the Flood Pod. We got plugged in and tuned all the way up to what you guys are listening. That's right. We got our impulse. We got our finger on the pulse of what the culture feeling, and we always like to start the show out by really getting into what it is that the culture is feeling.
Time out. Pause for a second. Not Like Us is really that fucking powerful to where, like, it's got lyrics just in regular vernacular. What the culture feeling? Boom. And this week's hit on the algorithm is...
Manchild, Sabrina Carpenter. That's right, your girl is back at it again, and she is stirring up all kinds of controversy, as I said in the opener.
I would describe Sabrina Carpenter as sexy bubblegum pop.
We're going to talk about Sabrina a little bit, but let's go ahead and play a little bit of Manchild for Zig, because we know Zig has not heard it yet.
Now I have listened.
So what do you think?
I love it. Like, the thing is like, I love Sabrina Carpenter's sound, but I really love, like, her ethos. That whole music video and everything, and it just screamed, like, and then you showed me the album cover. I'm just like...
Which
Sabrina
I definitely...
Carpenter has big, just fuck you energy, and I love it.
She definitely has a way of making headlines every time she is getting ready to drop music, right? Or she has a way of garnering attention, and not just for being, short and sweet. This most recent controversy comes from the debut of the album cover for her newest project, Man's Best Friend, which features Sabrina in... a very suggestive pose,
with her hair being used as what looks like a leash,
in a short black cocktail dress, right? Hand draped on what could willing me.
The inner thigh.
I don't know why I'm being so, like, me, the one who's always talking about porn, right? Like, I don't know why I'm being so, like, caged in describing it. Like, the album is called Man's Best Friend, right? So she is, like, posed in a way that is supposed
Make
to
her
be...
look like a dog.
Yeah. And as you can imagine, this had, conservative America clutching their pearls, right? The Zoom, we've talked on the pod about, like, how Zoomers and Gen Alpha seem to be rather, like, prudish, right? And the way they all gravitate towards Sabrina Carpenter, right? I'm sure this comes off in a way that was abrasive, right?
I'm waiting for Sabrina Carpenter's WAP remix.
Don't do that.
She would 1,000% be down.
And it's gonna have ukulele in it. Listen, the album cover is exactly what you would expect from Sabrina Carpenter, who is always
wet ass pussy.
Been very tongue-in-cheek, right? Very, very suggestive in her lyrics, and actually, for the most part, straightforward. I mean, the girl cuts it very dry a lot of times in some of her delivery of her. I mean, shit. The newest single, right, Manchild, is very, like, in your face.
Yeah.
It's the kind of energy that won't be welcomed here in JD Vance's America.
Yeah, she has the line "fuck my life" in the chorus.
So she put out an alternative cover for
God approved
the album after facing some of the backlash.
I love this energy from her. I appreciate Sabrina Carpenter's music. It's fun. I love listening to it, and I'm always pleasantly thrilled by the music videos of hers that she puts out.
I mean, I find it funny that we are constantly being shown examples of pearl clutching in an America where freedom of speech was one of the pivotal talking points in the last election, right? Like people like Joe Rogan and all the comedians, all the comedians, right? Like, and I'm sure they probably would see something like the Sabrina Carpenter album cover and not really bat an eyelash about it. But all their followers,
I thought it was a fucking cool album cover.
All the people on the internet,
it gave me Madonna vibes.
Yeah, like if Madonna had like a Dolly Parton era, where I just feel like,
and like, let's think about it. Has there been a true Madonna successor since? And I mean, like, you can't say like Britney Spears or Christina. No, there's none of them that are truly like Madonna. And Sabrina Carpenter is actually giving me Madonna vibes.
Well, we've talked on the pod before about how we may be entering an era where we won't see megastars like that anymore. But I get what you mean as far as like spiritual successors and carrying on the torch. But I actually kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit later on, or I guess later on, because I feel like the constant push to want to replace those old feelings, right, is what is kind of hindering the growth and development of new artists' acceptance. And like I said, I'll go into more detail a little bit later when we talk about it, but like, I just feel like this idea that we constantly need to be looking for the next Michael or the new Tupac, right? All that talk needs to.
Well, I mean, we already found the new Tupac.
Dead.
True motherfucking story told by Kendrick Lamar Rose.
No, it's not. It's not the new Tupac, right? Like, and there's no telling that Tupac would even like Kendrick Lamar, right? Like, let's be real about that. But
dude, can you imagine how much Kendrick's heart would break if he met Tupac and Tupac was like, "You's a bitch."
What I think
that would be the most, like, that would be like a Bruno Mars version of a Kendrick Lamar album. I should brought you flowers.
What I do think is bitch made is bitching about an album cover so much that you make the artist put like a joke fucking alternative cover out. Like, are we really at a state where we're becoming so like reserved that we get that outraged about something like that?
Actually, this isn't new. This just reminded me. While you're there at your computer, look up the "Is This It?" original album cover by The Strokes. Now, personally, I'm a fan. I prefer the new album cover anyway. But the original Strokes album, Is This It?, had 2 late edits. One of which to the track list, and the second to the album cover.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I see what it, you know, the hand on the butt with the leather glove.
Yeah, the side profile, leather glove on the butt with no underwear, like that. And then you see the new cover where it's just a really cool modern design with like light blue and gold.
But it just goes along with like the current trend we're seeing in kind of the opposite direction, where people are moving away from such outwardly suggestive and loud expressions of self-identification, right?
The audio edit for that album was there was a track on there called New York City Cops, where the chorus goes, New York City Cops, they ain't so smart. Well, the album released in like October of 2001. So they took that song off.
The return to like a more like reserved and I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess I'll just go with conservative. A more reserved and conservative America, right? As we continue to descend into the Trump years, right? Goes along with some of the other trends that I've seen on TikTok, like the, you know, clean girl and the clean guy, the old money aesthetic. Right, like, and it's funny that, you know, Sabrina Carpenter kind of fits in line with what they would picture to be like that kind of like trophy girl or whatever, right? And the fact that...
And she subverts it the whole time.
Exactly.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that about Sabrina Carpenter.
She's got a lot of that Lana Del Rey energy.
The way she sings reminds me of like you said, her
reminds
lyrics
me of
are like Dolly Parton.
The way she sings reminds me of Dolly Parton.
Well, the way she sings reminds me of Lily Allen. But like her music
I get
videos
that
and her ethos and her
yeah.
style, I'm like, that's Madonna. But she sings like Lily Allen. It's not fair and I think you're really mean. I think you're really mean.
But I'm not the only one that sees it. A lot of people are seeing it and pushing back against the constant or the uprise in pearl clutching that's going on, including fashion designer Rick Owen, who is refusing to let life pass him by without a bit of transgression, as he expressed it. After years of having his fair share of controversies, the 63-year-old, according to Complex magazine, is putting his foot down and starting a fetish-focused OnlyFans site, which he revealed in an interview with WWD. Owen said he's grown tired of seeing such prissy moralism and judgment and wants to respond with defiance. It's my way of saying lighten up and don't take it all so seriously. A little bit of wicked fun and elegance in a form of protest. He's starting a feet OnlyFans, an OnlyFans for his feet. Rick Owen is starting an OnlyFans for his feet, and I don't know how I feel about that.
You want to know what one of the best pieces of advice I've gotten from a comedian since I started was?
I know I'm not subscribing.
Well, I know. I didn't mean either. But you know what some of the best pieces of advice from a comic I've gotten since I started was?
What?
Don't post pictures of your feet on the internet for free.
I mean, listen, and this isn't just anybody's feet. This is fucking Rick Owens' feet, right? So...
You know, I thought he would have done like a collab thing with all of his models where like, is it just Rick Owens' feet or is it like models he gets in his, you know, controversial shoe design feet also?
From the article?
You know what? I don't want to know the answer to that. Just continue.
It's just his feet. he posted a first look to some of the kind of content that he will be posting on his OnlyFans on his Instagram, which is wild. I like now. Is this punk rock?
It is punk rock.
63-year-old man feet.
It is punk rock, but also, by definition, hitting your bandmates in the head with a baseball bat and eating your shit on stage is also punk rock.
No, I'm gonna push back on that last one. And I'm not even like really into the punk rock scene, but I'm not gonna let you do that to punk rock music.
Like, look,
eating your own shit on stage is psychotic and clinical. That requires lots of therapy.
Like Gigi Allen being on the punk rock Mount Rushmore is like the same way that Thomas Jefferson's up there, where it's like, yeah, he did some great things, but man.
I thought you were gonna say Kanye, cause you know Kanye, but like Rick Owens starting an OnlyFans in protest of like everybody being so fucking prissy. Like, I like I said, I feel like as far as like the temperature is concerned, right now it's really like up and down. As far as like, well, like not lately. It's actually
literally
just
100 degrees.
Yeah, it's actually just been up. But as far as like moralism goes, like we are slowly like sliding into that like Project 2025. Everybody feels like, you know, being so bold and brash isn't where it's at. You should be more Squidward, right? You should be more.
Hey Squidward. 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 Hey Squidward! Hey Squidward! Hey Squidward! Hey Squidward! Hey,
I mean,
Squidward.
all our male listeners are probably at least somewhat familiar with like the rise in stoicism, right? Like the appreciation for a quiet, reserved man. I know I keep saying reserved, but it's like I can't. Like,
stop thinking you're Marcus Aurelius, though. Main character syndrome shit.
You guys aren't all Keanu, right? Like, not everybody's John Wick, not everybody's Batman.
You know, I do have hanging in my office, always be yourself unless you can be Batman, and then always be Batman.
I feel like we are getting to a point, though, where there's a societal push to not be yourself anymore, right? Like, the desire to just blend in and become one of the crowd, right, and not make too much noise and not be picked out seems to be growing amongst a lot of the people online and in real life, right? Like, and I can't tell if it's just because everything feels so uncertain right now. Like, we are only really 3-4 years out from, you know, a unprecedented pandemic that
oh my god, we heard that word so many times,
upended life as we know it, and crazy shit just keeps fucking happening. And it's not just America, it's like literally all over the world. At the same time, there's this weird balance that is trying to happen where people want to remain unnoticed but also want their voices to be heard, right? Like, social media has cultivated...
They want a silent vote.
Yeah.
They want an unnamed vote. But, like, on everything all the time.
They want the right to be able to express themselves, but they don't like it when somebody is expressing themselves. So much so that at like major festivals, you've got artists getting banned for calling out the IDF and speaking out about Palestine and situations like that, right? Like,
Tenacious D broke up over that shit.
Meanwhile, over the weekend, just yesterday, as a matter of fact, as we were recording, a rapper by the name of Bobby, I guess it's Bobby Villain, or a part of a punk rock duo, was headlining a festival the Glastonbury Festival over the weekend.
Oh, big festival.
At the West Holt stage, and started, getting the crowd amped up with chants like "Free, Free Palestine" and "Death, Death to the IDF." Right? There goes our NPR sponsorship.
Bye. And our IDF sponsorship.
And they got banned. They will not be welcomed back to the Glastonbury Festival, and it's interesting to me to see in real time the push for complacency, right, happening in such like a quiet way that like it's like very clear that everybody is being, kind of told like shape up and like fall in line, right? But the people that are speaking out against it, if they weren't originally a part of the free speech wave that happened over on like the intellectual right or whatever, like they're being looked at now as dramatic, right? It's like the same way people looked at social justice SJWs in the early 2010s, right? But I feel like we need those people now more than I said this last time, I think too, that we need those people now more than ever, especially as we see like this quiet push and assimilation to almost like 1950s kind of style, like just all like it almost kind of reminds me of that 70s show, right? Like how people were in like the early 70s where the morals were more or less not questioned, and I'm kind of like just yapping at this point.
All right, so I'm taking this. I'm picking up on that 70s show. You ready? I feel like the cast being as fucked up as they are makes it a more accurate representation of the 1970s.
But do you understand like what I mean? Have you seen that yourself? Do you feel like the more like the push towards like more muted versions of self-expression and like people just trying to be like more part of the crowd? I mean, like social media.
Of course I've noticed that, because the people that say no, fuck that, stand out so much. Somebody like Sabrina Carpenter. And that's why I appreciate her doing what she is and making great music all the while. And she's certainly maintaining some level of creative authority and certainly body autonomy.
So you do feel like there is space for artists to make these kinds of statements, right, with their music?
Absolutely.
You think now it's needed more so than ever? Because there are a lot of other people, like Kendrick, for example, too, is somebody who, even though he makes a lot of statements on politics, he doesn't feel like it's necessarily an artist's job to be like a political megaphone,
no,
right?
It's not an artist's job to strictly be a political megaphone, because there is art that exists for countless reasons. Like an artist that is, let's take Taylor Swift, for example. Taylor Swift has a lot of very personal songs that people feel like they relate to. And she's not taking on some grandiose political thing when she's talking about her life experience. So there's still value in that as art. Or you can have value in art in telling a story, like Megadeth's famous song Hangar 18, which is about aliens invading.
But when artists like Taylor Swift, who usually doesn't have too much of a political motive or narrative in their art, or whether it be music or whatever, take political stances, do you think that really carries any weight in today's society, right? Like Sabrina Carpenter takes the rhetorical narrative of man's best friend and uses it as a way to tongue-in-cheekly talk about the relationship between men and women and the expectations men have of their female partners versus what like they're actually bringing to the table, kind of like what she did with the song Manchild.
Is there value in it?
When
We're talking about it, aren't we?
When Taylor Swift does a thing, just because people talk about something doesn't mean it actually has value. We talk about memes all the time, but what
Memes have value.
Nah, but what is the value of that? So that's what I'm saying. Is the value really that important? Is Taylor Swift making a post on Instagram while holding her cat, signifying her support for a political candidate in an election year, really that important anymore?
An Instagram post, I wouldn't say. But somebody who chooses to make art of it is certainly more significant. I mean, a celebrity's endorsement, while I wouldn't say it's important, it's noteworthy. And, if certain people say that they're, that's something that's cool, I'm gonna be like, oh, I might look into that. If John Cena told me that a particular roller coaster is awesome, I'm gonna actually be really excited to go on that roller coaster because John Cena said it's a good ride.
Okay, it's like if you see John Bernthal holding a trans flag, right? And signifying
which he
that
totally would do, by the way.
Has done. That's
Yeah.
my point. That's why I brought it up, right? Because he went viral for being a total fucking ally, right?
And people always think he plays all these hard ass characters. No, John Bernthal is he's really with all of us.
I mean, but my point is what is the value of that kind of thing in a 2025, right? When we are like literally on the face of like an economic collapse again, World War III.
If you showed that image
again.
to somebody who unironically has the Punisher skull somewhere that they own, they'd probably say it was AI generated. They're like, there's no way the Punisher would be like that. But yeah, no, the Punisher is like that.
Which is why I think it's so funny that it's a lot of the free speech warriors calling for the censorship of art that they don't like, right? But I mean, as we've seen in the 5 months that
morals and ethics don't matter unless
felt
they
like
affect
5 years.
you.
It's a whole lot of projection going on. And on that note, I think we're going to take a quick break. Welcome
Y'all
back.
feel the Zohran?
Mamdani.
Y'all feel the Zohran?
New York expressed itself over the week that we were out and selected through their third, fourth year of doing ranked choice voting as far as their mayoral elections?
I'm not sure. All I know is Andrew Cuomo had a bad time.
I know. As far as New York ranked out, Zohran was number one. And almost like a landslide victory. I guess I don't know. It'd be contentious to call it a landslide.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty wide margin there for ranked choice as well. And it's got a lot of people shaking, right? Like it seems like everybody on both the left and the right, or I should say, the Dems and Republicans, right, are a little up in arms about this Democratic nominee. Some Democrats, everybody says his ideas are outlandish, right, and too extreme.
Should we run down a few of them? Because I know a few.
Go ahead.
So, free buses, city-run grocery stores that operate at no profit, $30 minimum wage, a 2% tax increase on everyone making $1 million or more. He wants to reallocate some of the money from the police to social services.
And rent freezes. So pretty much everything that that we've been asking for, right? Like he is redistributing wealth and fighting for the working class in New York City. Especially with ideas like his $30 minimum wage increase.
Yeah, that one was wild to me.
That's where it should be. If you were really to adjust for inflation, like, yeah, in a fucking city where, you know, rent for a 1-bedroom apartment is $2,800, yeah, fuck yeah, minimum wage should be $30 an hour. Get the fuck out of here. Like, people can't live. Joe Rogan and fucking Bernie Sanders just got into a quote-unquote argument about this, right? Like, people always want to, like, scoff at the minimum wage being higher than fucking, I don't know, like 18 and even $15 an hour. People were like, why should you get paid $15 an hour to flip burgers at Burger King? Bitch, have you ever flipped burgers at a Burger King?
No, that's not. My first thought is not,
it's
why do
grueling
you
work.
deserve that money for that work? That's not my first thought. My first thought is, how does a business sustain that?
People always jump to, how do you expect small businesses to survive, right? And like, as if these statements are made in a blanket overall resolution, right? Like, but fucking across the board, we're raising it up to $30 an hour as soon as I get in that bitch. As if Donald Trump didn't win his election by saying shit like, I'm gonna stop the war in Ukraine tomorrow, nigga. Like,
I just got a random idea. What if every tax year, businesses that like report their profit and do all of their taxes and everything, when they get their tax return from the IRS, they also get a mandate for what the minimum wage for their business is allowed to be?
because that would be socialist.
But that's a good idea.
Listen. So is a 2% increase on taxes for people making over $1 million an hour, but both Democrats
A year.
yeah, $1 million an hour. Yeah, that was a crazy slip.
A year?
Okay, Elon Musk, calm down over there.
I might say he might be the only one that hits.
He's definitely one of, if not the main people who needs to be hit. Not that way, Ted. Calm down. No, but yeah, 2%. And it's got both Democrats and conservatives acting like there will be fucking capital flight from New York.
I think there's an inconsistency. I mean, I think Zohran's great. Like, from what I've seen, I think he's awesome. But I think there's an inconsistency where he says the top 1% of New Yorkers and then anyone over $1 million. I think anyone over $1 million
is not
in the top 1% of New Yorkers.
You're saying there's definitely more capital. I mean, whatever. That's like semantics, right? But I do feel like
I wouldn't be surprised if my brother makes $1 million a year, but he still has an apartment in Manhattan.
So,
you know,
that brings up something else that I wanted to talk about. There was a article in Fortune magazine, right, about how rich Americans are increasingly becoming unaware of the fact that they are classed as wealthy, right, and that luxury shame is running through a lot of those spaces. You have so much so to the point that it was even stated in the article that some of the like higher end department stores and stuff are switching to like labelless bags because they know their clientele don't want to be seen walking around carrying like Neiman Marcus bags and shit like that. Because
I did want to make a real quick note that once again, limitation breeds innovation. All of the people that were bitching about no more plastic bags, now we have those cool black fiber bags that are disposable, recyclable, and still pretty damn good.
Literal quote from the article. So people will say, yes, we must be doing a wealth tax for millionaires, but not me. I don't count as a millionaire. When in fact you own a 2-bedroom apartment in Manhattan, you are,
is the keyword,
by definition, a millionaire. But it is those people as well, right? Like, and if you can rent a 2-bedroom apartment in Manhattan, you're probably pretty close to being able to have like an extra 2% increase on your taxes for everybody in the city to be generally treated a little bit better.
I mean, I'm with you, but I want to make note that I think there's a lot more millionaires in New York that are not in the top 1%.
When talking about luxury shame, the
When
article
talking about
goes
New York specifically.
on to say, with wealth becoming an increasingly devised topic socially in America, with even the well-off distancing themselves from the reality of their situation, consumers are curbing their status symbols and experiences. Bain & Co. was the luxury selector that I was mentioning earlier. I said Neiman Marcus, right? But they have shrunk their personal goods business, and along with other high-end department stores and retailers kind of shifting away from such garish displays of wealth, right? Like how I was talking about earlier, the expression of even like your wealth now is kind of being hushed a little bit. Like people are like, oh, don't let the poors know. It's hide your money.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
The article follows the luxury shame section up by saying the social tension is spreading west because they were so according to the article, this trend actually from what can be observed started in China when their big luxury brands moved away from their kind of like garish displays of like, you know, Chinese opulence and stuff, because China was coming into a new economic boom, and now that things are kind of starting to cool down a little bit, they're dialing it back, and it's now moving here into the West. We are once again following China's lead a little bit here. Welcome to the Chinese century.
I have a question for you. At what amount of money do you just become an asshole?
What amount does it take to buy an election?
So you're like somebody who treats themselves on all personal luxury. You're not an asshole. You're just balling out.
I mean, for the most part, it ain't tricking if you got it, right? I think, you know, if it gets to a point where you're bitching about a 2% increase on your taxes and you're taking home over $1 million, like, you might be a little bit of an asshole, right? Because, like, let's be real. Like,
if I fuck my girl and she bleached her asshole and I get bleach on my t-shirt, does that make me an asshole?
billionaires shouldn't exist. In a healthy society, billionaires would not be a thing, right? Because you would think that if the capability to make that much money was available, it would be funneled back into the system that created the kind of market that allowed you to make that much money, right?
Well, all right, so I saw a great comment on the Joe Rogan, Bernie Sanders podcast YouTube. Here's a real quick. 1 million seconds equals 11.4 days. 1 billion seconds equals 33 years. By the way, I turned 33 today.
1 million people making over $500,000 a year in New York City don't
Or 233 for the long-time listeners.
themselves as rich. And it is becoming increasingly clear that with America's, slowly encroaching inflation and the cost of living going up, it's understandable to me how you probably wouldn't see yourself as wealthy when you're just barely maintaining the lifestyle that you've cultivated for yourself, right? Like,
yeah, the point, I make the joke. I am so thrilled that I am just complaining about bills instead of worrying about them.
We really are getting back to a place where wealth is opulence, right? Like, wealth is oligarchy, wealth is
garish.
Buying an election, right?
Where wealth is garish.
if you can't ball out like that, right? Like if you can't be Jeff Bezos and what's her name, Claudia, right? And have celebrities showing up to your wedding in Marc Jacobs gowns and stuff like I said Marc Jacobs gowns. Somebody who knows real fashion probably just like
The
audibly
definition of garish, by the way, is obtrusively bright and showy, semicolon, lucid.
But we don't even have that though, right?
Its origin is from the mid-century of unknown origin, and its use of time has increased dramatically since the 1970s.
Our oligarchy, our like aristocracy doesn't even dress really garishly, right? Like
What a good breakdown from the fucking Oxford Dictionary, by the way. Kudos to them.
they tend to dress more would utilitarian be the word, right? Like to look relatable, right? Like Elon Musk dressed like shit. Mark Zuckerberg dresses like shit, right?
Well, he's rocking that chain.
Jeff Bezos dresses better than Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, right? But
the one thing I respect Jeff Bezos about is at some point in his life he recognized he was going bald.
he still dresses like
And
a tool.
he just bought into it.
No, they don't like this. We don't have like real displays of wealth in a lot of the fashion now, right? It's more of a like if you know kind of thing. Like you have to know that is a certain designer's piece in order to. It's like, oh, that's cute. Where'd you get that? And they're like, ha, you fucking idiot.
There's
this
subtlety to it
is
now.
Carl.
There is value
Yeah.
to be seen in subtlety.
Is that what it is? Right? Or is it a muting
The
of?
dollar is in the details, my friend.
Yeah, that is one way to look at it. There's also a muting, I feel like, of individuality and true expression, the art that really is fashion, and using it as a unique identifier of yourself identity.
All right, I have a personal example. Anytime somebody asks me, they're just like, "What'd you do to your hand?" And I'm like, "Wait, what? Oh shit, the tape." And I'm just like, "I think it looks cool." They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like accessories, but I don't want to wear a ring, and I think it looks cool."
So you think
And people are like weirded out by that, and I'm like, "This is just something I like to do."
you think electrical tape is somehow more subtle than just wearing like a silver band?
It's not subtle, but it's me being me.
Right.
I think there's value in that, but it's like people can see it as like weird, and it's like, oh, you're not conforming, and I'm just like, no, I'm not. So whatever. Get me a beard.
Zohran doesn't have to wear, any kind of signifiers to express his uniqueness and individuality.
He and I are the same age.
That too is also being brought up as a point of contention. I was going to say the media is doing a good job at letting everybody know what his name is. Donald himself gave Zohran a personal shout out.
Straight up called him a communist.
In his own little special way on Truth Social. So it'll be interesting to see if the backlash from electing a immigrant
Democratic
socialist as the nominee for mayor will have some kind of what kind of effects that will have, and if it will result in the historic election of a Republican for a New York City mayor, like the first Republican since I think Giuliani, right? Maybe not.
I think Giuliani might have been a Democrat at the time.
Maybe. We'll see. It's pretty interesting. Something else I thought was pretty interesting this week. Can you imagine being denied entry into a country because of a meme on your phone?
If it's China, maybe.
Well, what if I told you that America wasn't just taking China's lead when it comes to expressions of wealth and luxury? We're also denying people entry into the country if they make fun of our dear leaders.
I did see this story.
And not even necessarily them particularly making fun of our dear leaders, but a Norwegian tourist was denied entry into the country after U.S. Customs, was it U.S. Customs agents? Yeah, Customs and Border Patrol. So the official excuse is he was denied entry into the country after admitting to prior marijuana use, right? But initial reports suggested he was detained and denied entry due to a meme that was on his phone.
You wanna know why that's bullshit? You know what airport he landed in? Newark, New Jersey.
After landing in Liberty International Airport in Newark, New Jersey, authorities spotted the JD Vance meme, the bald, chubby-cheeked Rosie.
Baby Vance.
On his phone. I'm sorry, because, like, this story...
Some of those memes are so distorted, I can't even tell that it's JD Vance.
Fact check claims that Mads Mikkelsen, I hope I didn't butcher his last
Mads
name.
Mikkelsen.
Mads
Not to be confused with the actor.
It is Mads Mikkelsen.
It is Mads Mikkelsen.
Was denied entry because of the meme are false, and that he was refused entry into the country for admitting to drug use. So yeah, I guess we're getting to the point where they're like, even though weed is legal here in like fucking 30 states,
And where they came from.
no, you can't come over here and smoke pot, especially because of that dumbass meme on your phone, bro. Like, can you imagine you just sitting in the airport waiting on like your Uber to show up, right, or your like transition flight to board, and
I mean, I can imagine, like, I'm trying to go into, like, Beijing, and they check my YouTube history, and they're like, so, this, Adventures of Kim Jong-un thing you watched.
yeah, what's up with that Winnie the Pooh background you got there? Right now, TSA just pull up on you and they like, hey, is that bald JD? What you doing with that bald JD?
I feel like right
on
now
your
TSA would pull me aside and tell me to take my shoes off and just take my Space Jams.
phone?
They just take them. Even though they got the grass stains on the side, they would still take them. And they'd be like, I don't know. I know how to save that the gum side. By the way, if anybody knows how to save the gum side of Space Jams, please let me know.
I just can't imagine like a time period, even when weed was illegal in like the entire country, being denied entry into the United States, or like even being like asked a question like that, unless you were like particularly known for or had a history of like drug trafficking, right? But now this person was like pulled up alleged for whatever reason, right? Because like what other excuse do they have for like detaining and questioning this person?
I'm pretty sure every musical artist ever would never get back into the country after their world tour if this was how we're doing things.
And I know the idea of them seeing the meme on his phone and then getting mad and being like, you know what? You're not gonna come over here with your fancy European attitude and make fun of our fucking commander-in-chief.
His sidekick.
Okay?
Also, I don't get, like, are people really that, like, defensive of JD fucking Vance?
Well, I mean, recent polls suggest that he is the most likely front runner, despite what Eric Trump would have everybody believe.
Oh, please don't tell me Eric thinks he's the front runner.
Oh, you know, he's been...
Look at his teeth and his smile. No chance. No chance in hell.
murmuring.
Ivanka has the best chance of the three
Been going
kids.
on between...
Well,
I mean,
is
Donald
there
Trump...
five?
Donald,
How many kids are there? Is Tiffany? Does Tiffany exist?
Yeah, it's
Is she
four,
real?
Right?
She's real.
It's Donald, Eric, Tiffany, and Ivanka, right?
And Barron.
And Barron. And Barron. I mean, I don't know.
Who won't be eligible to run until like 2040.
I mean, now that they've officially ended, it's like, no, they haven't officially ended birthright citizenship yet. But now that that's up for question, if the government gets in the wrong hands, Barron might not be considered a citizen anymore.
Shit, none of us might be if they don't do the grandfather rule. Can you imagine how much money it would take the federal government for literally every citizen to reapply for citizenship?
Jesus fuck, man. Oh god, it gets
Think about
pretty
that.
wild.
Is that something that might actually happen as a fucking repercussion of them doing some dumbass shit like that?
Well, I mean, look at how the shit is going now, bro. Like, because Trump and them want 3,000 deportations a day, they're literally busting
Or
in
$5 million for a gold visa.
to 7-Elevens and churches and graduations and shit.
Home Depots.
And because they are so America
I mean,
first,
I joked around with my boss when Trump was elected. I'm like, so should I work on like a hiring campaign poster or something?
That's fine.
And that was a joke.
That's
And
so
now
fun.
it's becoming like less and less of a joke as time goes on.
I mean, getting detained for having a meme on your phone is pretty wild.
Yeah, for sure.
Almost as wild as being one of the most popular pop stars on the planet and getting ratioed for doing a shirtless ab pic right as summer starts.
And this is not Sabrina Carpenter's controversial photo album cover.
Yeah, no, it's just Drake's controversial abs.
Are they real?
Yeah, I mean, you ask the internet. It's quite contentious debate on whether they're real or
That's
not.
a real debate?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, that really happened. Drake went viral for two reasons over the past week. One was getting into it with T-Pain, and the other one was for posting a very weak sauce thirst trap of him going for a jog shirtless and then him standing shirtless in the mirror, and everybody was just, like I said, ratioing him in the comments with Kendrick quotes, because they do look kind of...
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show them.
Yeah, that's what Drake thought. It didn't quite go like that. And yeah, as
His
far
career
as
is literally, it might not be, quote, ruined, but it's stained forever.
it's stained so heavily that somebody felt the need to weigh in on it, that somebody being T-Pain, who tried to gracefully tell Drake that it might be time to bow out.
Go away.
Not even. It might just be time for him to just stop doing music.
Wait, T-Pain really went that far?
T-Pain was on a recent episode of the Crash Dummies podcast talking about the Sixth God and how he inspired T-Pain to not overstay his welcome in the music industry, but Drake has since laughed off his remarks. T-Pain said, "One thing I learned from Drake, but he hasn't followed in his own words. Drake said, I want to be one of these people that gracefully bows out and not get kicked out." Right? So just another comment from Drake that hasn't aged well, right? Spoken by T-Pain.
Because nobody really has anything bad to say about T-Pain except for, oh, auto-tune. And then one person in the conversation always immediately follows up, rightfully so, with, yo, he can actually sing.
And I mean, Drake was and is actually talented in some degree, right?
As an entertainer.
His career at this point, and even his pen game, you got to remember, he was writing for Wayne at points. It's...
Did he write the Carter 6?
There was no Drake feature on the Carter 6. Nicki showed up, but Drake didn't.
The response was not, in fact, as big as the Super Bowl.
Drake responded with a social media post saying, "This guy has always resented me," laughing emoji. The idea that T-Pain would resent Drake, quote unquote, when he had the entire 2000s era on
He
lock.
was what the culture feeling.
Yeah, is laughable. As laughable as Drake's laughing emoji post. But Also, T-Pain may have hit a nerve. It might be something that Drake was feeling, and it's something that I feel like he even hinted at.
And what
himself
the culture feeling.
after For All the Dogs, right? Which was the last album he dropped. But he is steadily posting hints about gearing up for a new album release.
He really drops one like every 6 months, it seems.
Some Sexy Songs for You fared well. So I feel like he focus tested the waters enough that he might be ready. I guess the rumor is that he plans on crashing the Clipses release date for their newest album.
Pulling a Kanye?
Yeah. So we'll see what is in the mix, right? And maybe he will take T-Pain's advice after this album, depending
Go back to acting?
how it fares.
Drake in the Pursuit of Happiness reboot?
That wouldn't have been a fair look. I don't feel like that would have been a
Who
bad
would play
move for
Jaden
Drake.
Smith opposite of Drake in the Pursuit of Happiness reboot?
Machine Gun Kelly.
What is he selling now in the reboot? Like dial-up monitors?
Machine Gun Kelly got into that beef with Eminem, right? And then went and pursued the pop punk lane for a while.
Yeah, then he just pursued Megan Fox's lane.
Drake did just pop out with Morgan Wallen recently, right? So maybe he's gonna try and jock Beyonce's
Vulture more?
Maybe he's gonna try and jock Beyonce's coattails a little bit more. Maybe it was Drake who sabotaged her car at that show performance in Houston. Did you hear about that?
No.
Beyonce has like a flying car that is a part of the performance that she does at these shows, and it malfunctioned in the middle of a choreography moment, and Beyonce had to be lowered into the crowd on this like giant floating car. And I'm not saying Drake had something to do with that, but
You're not saying that Drake had nothing to do with
I am
that.
saying that Drake was also just in Houston with Morgan Wallen, is what I'm saying. So maybe they
we're
were.
not saying Morgan Wallen's racist, but there's a really good likelihood that Morgan Wallen is.
And they was Morgan Wallen. Speaking of
Well done.
Morgan
I like that.
Wallen, did you hear about the Liver King?
I did, in fact, hear about the Liver King and everybody's favorite Joe Schmo.
Do you think the Liver King saw the debate between Joe Rogan and Bernie Sanders and was like, you know what, that's it. I
Who do
can't
you have
fucking
in
take
that
it
fight, and
anymore.
why is it Joe Rogan?
It's definitely Joe Rogan.
It's definitely Joe
I
Rogan.
mean, sure, the Liver King, I think they had this debate on My Mama Told Me podcast, but no, I think it was
this
TYT
is like a Kimbo
Sports.
Slice in a
Yeah.
UFC thing.
I mean, Kimbo did pretty good in the UFC once
got
he
his ass
actually
kicked like the first 3 fights.
Yeah, but that's because he was trying to do it like they were backyard fights. But like once he started like actually fighting like a UFC fighter, he held his own for a long time and became like a pretty good contender. But
Joe Rogan would fucking destroy the Liver King.
yeah, he's definitely like crashing the fuck out. And I don't know if it's like roid rage induced. It's definitely roid rage induced, right? But
It's absolutely roid rage induced, but he would get that January 6th treatment.
he's probably, tripping off of some weird fucking, like, everybody is making,
Probably hanging out with Aaron Rodgers.
everybody's making the joke that it's all that raw meat, right, gone to his brain. This nigga is like primal. Did you see the videos of this nigga like crawling around, talking into the camera?
Yep.
It was like very sinister. It's so much so to the point where when they finally caught up with him, he was arrested on terroristic threat charges.
Yeah.
Not even like stalking charges or some shit like that. Like they were like, yeah, nah, buddy, you was not about to Luigi Joe Rogan like that, right? Somebody made.
I was literally just thinking, if they charge him with terrorism, and I'm like, Liver King gets off and Luigi gets the punishment, fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't, the Liver King didn't get to complete his mission objective, though, right? Like, it was very, like, Batman villainy, the way he was like, I'm here in Houston, Joe, and you still haven't answered me yet. I'm just trying to be a man. We talk man to man. We do this.
I'll meet you in the American parking lot.
Yeah, it was like, we do this, we make it quick, and then afterwards, we come back to my place for dinner. How's that sound? I was like, it really just feels like he kind of just want to smash Joe Rogan. He's like, I'm tired of you telling people I'm on steroids
He's
when
like,
I'm not.
Look, I know I eat a lot of raw meat, but I'm not gay.
Somebody made the joke that they was gonna fight to the death, and if the Liver King won, he was gonna eat Joe Rogan's liver, and I was like, that's
On
a
live stream.
Yeah.
Like, full out, cooch, pull and separate the stomach, and like, oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, I'm like, that's when I'm like, all right, good night, folks. We're time to log off.
That's disgusting.
Time to log off. Fucking
Don't
just
put it out of the realm of possibility of Liver King, though.
like the Revenant.
Exactly. You wouldn't even get an Oscar. Just the charge.
As far as I know, as far as recording, Joe Rogan has not said anything yet.
Why should he?
Address the fact that he had like a full-on stalker who was ready to run down on him at any moment.
No. That's just one of Joe Rogan's stalkers who has a noticeable social media input.
I mean, for a guy who has like a full-on CIA handler, it's kind of surprising that the Liver King was able to get as close to Joe Rogan as he did. Like,
We're just running on the whole Joe Rogan's a CIA asset thing.
oh, you've heard that debate too?
No, you said it on the last episode.
Oh yeah, no, I'm still running with that because like, duh. I have. Oh, are we serious? We really think he's not? Go back and watch Joe Rogan before he got signed with Spotify, and then watch him afterwards, and then you tell me if you don't want to put your tinfoil hats on. It's just a little like if COVID didn't fuck this nigga brain up, like
The bag did.
he says it was COVID. I think it was a combination of both.
Oh, something else you want to tackle before we go on break?
No, we can go ahead and take a quick break because after this, it's just a bunch of, fluff pieces and shit like that.
Yay, fluff!
Break.
You take a sound, any sound, record it, and then change its nature by a multiplicity of operations. You record it at different speeds, you play it backwards, you add it to itself over and over again. You adjust filters, echoes, acoustic qualities, you combine segments of magnetic tape. By these means and many others, you can create sounds which no one has ever heard before.
And here we are at the wrap-up roundup, wrap-up roundup, wrap-up roundup. Here we are at the wrap-up roundup, Squid Game.
Yeah, I had two more stories I wanted to talk about. You watched Squid Game just recently. It feels like we're living through the beginning of something akin to Squid Game. How was the third and final season?
I swear to God, if they keep going with this franchise, it's visually stunning.
It was announced at Tadum, Netflix's award show convention thing, that this was the third and final season of Squid Game.
Yeah, and it should be. Yeah, Squid Game was a lot of fun. They definitely need to, if they're gonna have people talking in English as, like, foreigners, get decent actors. Like,
the voiceover actors?
They weren't voiceover actors. They were actual, like, Western actors.
Oh, you mean, okay, I got
and they
you.
weren't, like, you remember how much Lucius was overacted in Cowboy Bebop? It's like that, but 5 of them, and they're supposed to be the main villains. Meanwhile, the, like, really crazy, strict, like, scary Korean guy who wore the black mask, just sitting there the whole time like, yep, they're our very important guests. Let them do what they want to do. Oh, okay, I guess we're gonna put a baby in the game now. That's fine.
Oh, what? That's wild. So you're saying you did or didn't enjoy the third season?
I mean, there's moments that are enjoyable. It definitely pulls at the heartstrings. There are some great performances, but, like, It's also Squid Game. A lot of them die off early.
So do you feel like it's maintained the quality that it started out with?
Season 2 and 3 are nothing compared to Season 1. Season 1 was deservedly a cultural phenomenon. They should have just ended it after Season 1. But, yes, the show is still visually stunning, but they didn't need to make anything after Season 1. They really didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like we are still stuck in a moment where a lot of these companies are trying to, I guess, capture the flame and duplicate it, right? Like Stranger Things is still going, and that is a story that every time I watch it, I'm like, okay, that could have ended there, right? Like, and that would have been fine. Which is also pretty rare for Netflix, right? Because they usually are a 3 and done kind of series run, 3 seasons, and then it's cut, despite like fanfare and favor.
Some franchises are actually really smart and play that formula to their strength, a la Castlevania.
Right.
Castlevania. I think Castlevania had the original series had a fantastic run. I think it did great. I'm curious what they're gonna do with Nocturne now with how they wrapped up season 2.
Right.
Like
it definitely ends in a way that builds for another season, right?
But at the same time, it also wrapped up fine to where if it ends, it's not terrible.
No, but it definitely ended in a way that made me want more. Like,
Have
it
you
made
watched
me
all
feel
of
like
Nocturne now?
there's gonna be, that made me feel like there's gonna be more story.
Like,
you know what
Maria's
I mean?
mom, like, having that demon inside of her.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge thing. Like, what the fuck is going on with Maria's mom? Also, we know that Dracula and Lisa are alive in hell. Or no, they're somewhere, or Dracula is on Earth somewhere. Lisa would have died by now, but
Yeah.
Dracula is on Earth.
Does that mean hell is on Earth?
No. He the whole infinite corridor, and they pulled Dracula out of hell.
I know.
And if hell is on Earth, it's Detroit.
So Squid Game was good. Go ahead and give it a check out. Let us know if you checked it out already. Tell us what you guys thought about it. How do you feel about Netflix's 3 and done series run? Do you think the series is over? Do you think there could be some Squid Games spin-offs coming in the future?
No Squid Game spin-offs. We don't need them. Because it would just end up back at Squid Game. What spin-off is there to do that's not at the game?
I don't know, like a Jeopardy style.
It would just have to be a direct sequel. What are we gonna get? A slice of life with the depressed-ass guy that won Squid Game?
A Joker-esque style Squid Game. I guess it's already kind of Joker-esque.
Oh, and the second and third season have South Korean, North Korean politics included, because why not?
I would say the first one had politics included as well. They were just, social commentary, politics. But speaking of politics, did you see our good old boy Pete Hegseth this week in the glory that is the American strike on Iran?
I saw any question he would immediately deflect and be like, so you're saying our pilots are bad people?
So I don't know if I want to call it kayfabe. The line towing was so prevalent this week that he even snapped at a Fox News reporter.
Yeah.
Right? And accused her of being one of the worst. And to the point where she had to remind him that she was just on the phone with this nigga corroborating the story.
Yep.
And if that doesn't, really show you how shallow all of their narrative is, right? Like, very quickly.
Nah, she was lying. She wasn't on the phone with him.
They turned on
Pete said
one
that
of their own.
he wasn't on the phone with him, and I trust Pete, because Pete was chosen by Donald. So that reporter must be lying.
And look at how it's, got them torn, right? Like Candace Owens has dissented.
Fucking Tucker Carlson
has dissented, right? And are now speaking out against the Trump regime.
I mean, we already had Elon defect.
Right. So the tension seems to be growing. Donald Trump's his approval rating is reportedly and even on Fox News, they're reporting that it's low. Right, like even the high numbers are low, right? Like we're looking at like 43% on the high end if you want to be generous, 33% on the low end. It just feels like when they're doing things like snapping at their own mouthpieces because the maneuver was so bungled and so impulsive that they clearly didn't give their media wing time to like really construct a narrative around the argument. The narrative is supposed to be our pilots. Even the world is reacting to the military strike on Iran with mass protest erupting over the weekend.
And
right?
they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Donald even snapped and dropped the fucking F-bomb on Mike, bro. And it was, first of all,
it was one of the most realistic moments of Trump I've ever seen.
It was one of the most realistic moments I think that has ever happened in politics. Very clean use of the F-bomb, sir.
Yeah.
Dear leader.
No, like, honestly, like, as far as the soundbite,
yeah,
that was way to go.
clean.
That's a great soundbite.
When he does shit like that, I'm like, I get it. I see why they voted for this dumb fuck, right? Like,
yeah.
My man was like, I fucking had it, okay?
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I just want to go golf. My fucking hair is falling out.
I'm one well-done steak away from a
shitting my pants. I just want to be left alone. I didn't even want to be president. The only reason,
first time.
Yeah, the only reason I'm president now is because I don't want to go to jail. Like,
yeah.
Great, man. None of this shit is normal. But what should be normal is, do you have anything else you want to talk about? You looking at me like, damn, are we closing out?
You never told me what you would take away to destroy humanity.
Oh, I did. I said the wedge.
Oh, right.
I was gonna talk about aliens versus vampires because
vampires win.
No, okay. So, all right. Future
Wait,
Zig,
are humans present?
Future Zig, you can decide where to throw this in the episode. I was reading an article.
And can the vampires survive off of this alien's blood?
I was reading an article about a aerial phenomenon that happened over the week down in the southern portion of the United States, over Georgia and South Carolina. A large, bright, fucking like glowing object was seen in the sky at night, breaking up, and pieces of it actually landed and punctured some people's roofs and shit like that. But when I saw the headline, which forgive me because I don't seem...
It sounds like a Final Fantasy summon. A straight up giant glowing orb and then shit falling through people's roofs.
Okay. The Independent. People in 6 states see mysterious fireball streak across the sky. Right? And I was like, immediately my brain went, oh shit, the aliens are here. Right? Because, you know, what else is gonna fucking happen? We just bombed Iran. Some people,
rocket, probably.
Some people would think, retaliation attack, right? No, my brain was like, oh yeah, aliens now, cause
Americans are like, there's no way, we have oceans.
No,
like,
because my brain was like, yeah, what else could go wrong? And then it's like, aha, aliens. So I got to thinking, right? Usually around times like this, you can kind of test, like, you can do like a cultural barometer on what kind of horror movies are popular at the time, right? And usually
we are
when
seeing
like
a lot of aliens and vampires.
when conservatives are in power,
Oh, I have seen this wild story, this wild thing.
Yeah, it's like vampire movies become popular because they kind of like represent like the gender non-binary, like fancy foreigner that's like, you know, non-conforming and manipulative and hypnotic and
so like basically
corrupting.
Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
Or, you know, Sinners,
Or
right?
Tom Cruise and Brad
Michael
Pitt,
B.
but-
Jordan in Sinners, right?
By the way, we're not the only people that have said, yeah, that role definitely should have been Jonathan Majors. They're like, that was a last-second rewrite. Like, multiple people have told me after they watched it, they're like, yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, that was a last-second rewrite. That was supposed to be Jonathan Majors.
For them to be twins.
Yeah.
And it's not the only one, right? Like, the Interview with the Vampire series, which has been admittedly out for a while now, but it's still making pretty big noise, right? But to its credit, 28 days later, 28 years later, my bad, is doing pretty good in movie theaters right now. And, you know,
that was zombies, right? That's not vampires.
Conservatives love zombie movies, right, too. But even though, they tend to be like more, I guess, artistically represented in that sense, right? Because they're conforming and they're mindless. Shots fired. Bow, bow. Right. But I was also thinking that a new one that I feel like has been kind of like entered into the space is Aliens, right? Like, I feel like that represents more of like the technocrat kind of like.
You know what? Here's my hot take for what the best horror movies in Trump's conservative America should be. You know what? They should all be like It, where it's like the kids try to solve a mystery and it's a pedophile. The villain should always be a pedophile.
I mean, if you've been on a QAnon sub, you would know that that is exactly what they think. It's always, so it's Scooby-Doo, but it's always a pedophile.
Like, it could be Old Man Clem, and, like, the episode could be exactly the same, and, like, Fred could pull off the rubber mask, and it'd be like, Old Man Clem, by the way, we also found tapes of you fucking a kid. Like...
So it's Scooby-Doo and Chris Henson?
Yeah. Yeah, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. That'd be a great animated crossover.
So my question was, if the Gates of Reality...
I saw we are getting a Strangers 2 sequel. Non-0% chance one of them is a pedophile.
If the Gates of Reality opened up, and we were dealt one really shitty cataclysmic hand, would you rather it be the introduction of vampires or the introduction of aliens?
Introduction of vampires. I could hope for the best. Depends on the vampire
You
lore.
could hope for the best?
It depends on the vampire lore.
So, okay, so what vampire lore would be more, I guess, comparable for you to operate under?
I mean, the Anne Rice vampire lore wouldn't be too bad. The Castlevania vampire lore is also...
Absolutely not. Absolutely. Did you just suggest you want to live in the Castlevania? I need you to know that that is just as bad as the people who have, like, the zombie fantasy, right? Like, what? Like, you think you gonna bust the chain whip out?
I would rather be a Dampier in the Castlevania vampire, which is a half vampire.
How the fuck? You're already born. So I'm talking about, like, we wake up tomorrow and find out vampires are real and, like, some True Blood shit.
So I'm a human?
Yes.
And I still want to be a human, right?
That's up to you.
In this scenario, we're gonna say I still want to be a human, right?
I guess. If you woke... Although, I feel like... If you woke up tomorrow and, like, they announced on the news that vampires were real, you would go become a vampire just to spite your mom.
We also get some really cool superpowers.
Not if you like Nosferatu. Count Orlok.
Like I said, it's very important which vampire lore we're going by.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like equally so which, like, alien
But
lore
I mean,
we're
fighting
going
against
by.
aliens, like, if you're dead against an alien, you're just dead. There's, like, no even remotely romantic, optimistic outcome where, like, you don't get to if you die to an alien, you don't get to, you know, as your lights are going out, imagine just go, you know, it'd be really cool to like listen to Moonlight Sonata and stare at the moon while drinking a chalice of blood. Like, you don't get that with aliens.
Unless it's like the Edge of Tomorrow, where, you know, if an alien accidentally drips its blood into your mouth, you can
And
get
you repeat the day over and over and over.
You get that weird rewindy thing every time you.
That movie is really underrated.
Yeah, it was a really good movie.
Really good movie. Like that and District 9 are like the two movies from that era.
Well, I mean, I don't feel like District 9 is underrated, but and Edge of Tomorrow has a 91% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Fantastic movie.
It just doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah.
Really good movie.
Like, and the aliens were cool in that movie too.
Yeah, I mean, Emily Blunt was also really great.
Yeah, she was
in that
great.
Movie.
Tom Cruise was great. I love how Tom Cruise is getting the like legendary run Oscar, where it's like, we appreciate you, but you have really bad taste in movies that you're in.
Yeah. So,
like, that's the kind of Oscar I'm getting the vibe from Tom Cruise getting this award.
You're saying, though, that you feel like a vampire universe would be in better taste than an alien introduced universe, even if it was like a Star Wars kind of universe? Maybe.
Oh, man, that band fucking rocks. All right, no, we're talking about aliens that are, like, just chill? If they're just, like, chill.
I'm not. I mean, yeah, because like not.
If they're just chill, I'm cool with aliens.
I guess I have
mean,
to
look,
go with.
open the border.
I guess I have to go with chill aliens because I introduced the vampire universe as like the True Blood universe, where like vampires are just like a thing and they're like fighting for civil rights along with, I don't know, like Asians.
Oh yeah, totally.
So vampire universe then, or alien universe?
No,
then?
can you imagine like
because
a crazy pale white guy holding an umbrella next to Dr. King at the Million Man March for Jobs and Freedom?
That's a wild thought. I'm just, you know, but I'm also thinking of like the extremes, right? Where if we live in an alien universe, we have to deal with.
I found out something about interesting about the Million Man March for Jobs and Freedom. There's only about there's less than 10 public use photos from that event.
Really?
Yeah, in the Library of Congress, there's like less than 10 public use photos from that event.
That's interesting. You would think more of that would be like free domain.
No, plenty of Getty images. But as far as Library of Congress, not much.
Yeah, but so you'd rather...
Even history is for profit.
So you'd rather deal with like a Dracula than, you know, I guess...
rather deal with a Dracula than a Jabba? Yeah.
Or I was gonna say like a Predator or an alien.
I'd rather deal with a Dracula than a Jabba. Actually, never mind. I feel like if I kept my head under the radar, I'd be fine in a Jabba Tatooine, but then again, I'd have to live on Tatooine.
And I'm also like, you know, what are the chances of me actually becoming a target of the Predator, right? Like, I'm not known for being a killer. Like, he's going after, like, you know, U.S. Marines and shit like that. He's not gonna stop by and be like...
And Dracula really would just be like, okay. I mean, he did. He was just like, fuck all humans.
There are some pretty, like, gnarly vampires, though, like, especially if you think about, like, underworld vampires and shit like that.
And, like, they didn't turn a lot of humans. They were just like, fuck you, food, tear you apart.
Yeah, I don't want to...
Like, if I was going to be, like, I would at least rather be turned.
Can you imagine that Eric Adams mayoral campaign run? Like, the vampire crime has gone up in the city since Zohran Mamdani took over?
Look! There are people listening to Deftones and Korn on every corner!
Fucking purse snatchings and neck drainings have gone up. City has turned to shit.
Every jewelry store is bought out of silver.
But in a universe where we open up the world to like aliens and stuff like that, then we get to like hear Trump campaign speeches about how like there's too many illegal aliens in the country.
No, the Democrats would come up with another term.
These Alpha Centaurians have been here too long.
Extraterrestrians.
They're taking over.
Illegal extraterrestrians.
They're taking over good jobs. The neighborhoods have gone to shit. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
And they actually do. They have the hunger that only cats and dogs can stand.
Oh man, it would be a conservative's dream. Mexicans would just be like, well, I mean, I don't really
That's
mind
how they
the
earned the
aliens.
Latino vote.
Yeah. I don't really mind the aliens.
Come
but
on, aliens invade Earth. That's how we get the Latino vote.
Thank God they took the heat off of us. Now they're just using SpaceX rockets to send aliens back into the orbit.
If they don't blow up all the way there.
Right, then we started a fucking like intergalactic crisis because a SpaceX rocket blows up with
Well,
a bunch
that's
of
just us in our Milky Way ghetto.
with a bunch of illegal aliens being deported on
Yeah,
it.
it's us in our fucking Milky Way ghetto.
Oh man,
That is such a bar.
the Klingons.
You know, did I tell you?
Yeah.
I think. Did you hear about it? I think they're continuing the '90s Spider-Man 2 as Spider-Man '94.
Oh no, I didn't hear about that.
I think they're gonna do that.
I'm still watching My Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It's really good.
It is good, and like, I watched it, and I think you're probably gonna. It's a good Spider-Man show. It's a Spider-Man show.
You know what else is good? Ironheart. Ironheart's been pretty good so far, despite what people online would have you believe. I do believe that there is a review bombing campaign going on for that show. It's not nearly as boring, and people are trying to like put it in the same line as like the Marvels, which I didn't watch, but at this point, you know, I might go watch it just because people are saying it's bad, right? And like I watched Ironheart expecting to be severely disappointed in the first episode, and I wasn't. The character of Riri Williams is aspirational and relatable to any child that has felt like they are on the verge of proving themselves in a way that would be as gratifying as being like the fucking universe's smartest person, right? Like, this is a character who feels like right off the bat she knows what she's doing, right? She just needs to be given the opportunity to prove it. And I feel like that narrative was just too woke for some people to fucking handle, right? Because it's a confident black woman. And you know, in comparison with My Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, who is given the opportunity to work at like a dream company by a, you know, self-made millionaire, and is being very humble about whether or not he deserves the opportunity to work there, right? Like, even when white guys are living their dream, they still inject humility into it some kind of way.
Hi!
Right? Which is supposed to be pushed as the norm. But then when you have characters like Tony Stark, who has would fucking absolutely balk at the idea that he's supposed to be humble, right?
He's Iron Man.
Bruce Wayne, right? Like, where is Bruce Wayne's humility, right?
In the ground.
I guess in Matt Reeves' version of the Batman, Bruce is grappling.
Something in the way.
Hey, what if Batman was the Crow?
Like, really used that song from Nevermind. That's the last track on that album.
I feel like the hate that the show is getting is undeserved, but you let me know, chat. What did you think? I am only in on episode 1. But as far as I'm concerned, I think I would rather be in the Alien universe. Not that, you know, I allied myself with conservatives, but yeah, the idea, I'm a night person, right? So like,
I mean, the moment you put Star Wars into my head, the first thing I thought of was.
We support immigrants over here. Vampires, though, you know, it's in their nature to kill.
Remick. Like I told you, I have a personally very complicated relationship with the character of Remek. I might go rent that movie tonight.
And that would be normal. What also should be normal is subscribing to the Flood Pod on everything, and that is on everything.
At the Flood Pod, and a shout out to our patrons.
Enraged Peacock. Hey, see you next time, Slater.
Cat Coolest. Thunder Knight.
Ryo
and Andrew P. Rainbow.
Rainbow. We'll be back at you guys next week with more hot takes and the latest breaks in the news. Deuces.
Look, it's a flood.
Flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.